Don't like my silly job, you don't get its silly perks. I work at one of those indoor trampoline parks where parents drop their kids off and pretend they don't exist for 2 hours. The job comes with some pretty sweet perks that nobody talks about. Free access to the trampolines after hours, employee discounts on birthday parties, and the best part, I get to eat leftover pizza from kids' parties that parents never bothered to pick up. Plus my coworkers are actually cool. We're all college kids or people between real jobs, so we just vibe and make the best of it. Enter Bryce, my new manager who got hired 3 months ago. This guy clearly thinks he's running some Fortune 500 company instead of watching kids bounce around on trampolines. First week on the job, he called a staff meeting to discuss professional development and brand image. I'm talking about a place where the main job requirement is knowing how to work a cash register and occasionally telling kids not to do backflips off the foam pit walls. Bryce started implementing all these new rules. No phones during shifts, even when it's dead empty on Tuesday afternoons. No talking to coworkers unless it's work-related. No eating the leftover party food because it looks unprofessional. And the worst part? He started scheduling mandatory team-building exercises on our days off. But what really set me off was when he started making comments about how my job wasn't real work and how I should be grateful for the opportunity to gain work experience in customer service. Dude literally said this while I was cleaning puke out of the foam pit because some kid ate too much cake before jumping around. Last week, he really crossed the line. I'd been working there for 8 months, longer than anyone except the assistant manager, Katie. This family came in for their kid's birthday party, and everything was going fine until their cake fell off the table. The mom was freaking out, the birthday kid was crying, and I felt bad for them. So I offered to comp their pizza order since we mess up food orders sometimes anyway and usually just eat the mistakes. It was like $20, no big deal. The family was super grateful, the kid cheered up, and everyone had a good time. Bryce pulled me aside later and goes, "Your silly little job here has rules, and you don't get to make executive decisions about comping food. This isn't a charity, it's a business." Then he wrote me up for exceeding authority and unprofessional decision-making. That's when I decided Bryce needed to learn exactly what my silly job actually entitled me to. See, here's the thing about working at places like this. You learn everyone's business whether you want to or not. Parents dump their kids here and then spend the whole time on phone calls discussing private stuff, thinking we're not paying attention. Bryce included. I'd overheard him on multiple calls with his girlfriend complaining about money, his car payments, and how he was only taking this management job temporarily until something better came along. He also mentioned several times how he was using the employee discount to throw his nephew's birthday party here next weekend, and how he was planning to hook himself up with free food and decorations. So when Bryce's nephew's party rolled around, I was working the front desk. Bryce spent the whole morning setting everything up, ordering way more food than the party package included, and loading up on decorations and party favors. When his sister showed up with the birthday kid, she tried to pay, and Bryce waved her off, saying it was all taken care of. That's when I printed out an itemized receipt for everything he'd taken. The party package, extra food, decorations, extended time in the private party room, extra party favors, all of it. Came out to around $300. I walked over with the biggest smile and handed it to his sister. "Hi, I just wanted to make sure you had your receipt for everything. Bryce ordered quite a bit extra for the party today." His sister looked confused and asked what the total was. When I told her, she looked at Bryce like he'd lost his mind. "You said this was going to cost like $50. Bryce's face went completely red. He tried to laugh it off and say there must be some mistake, but I just smiled and said, "Oh no, everything's correct. Bryce ordered all these extras and company policy says all food and decorations have to be paid for. Employee discount only applies to the basic party package," which was totally true, by the way. The employee discount he was planning to use was only 10% off the basic package, not a free-for-all on extras. His sister ended up paying for everything, but she was pissed at Bryce for misleading her about the cost.